Is a magical night tonight as we celebrate TV47 Country Ride first year anniversary with you. Put on your cowboy hats and boots and catch us live at 10 p.m. We kick it till late tonight. You can send us your requests via our Twitter handles at TV47 Kenya and at TV47 Country Ride. We have DJ Romez live on the decks tonight, so make sure you keep it TV47 Kenya. Welcome to News Tonight with me, Karen Karimi. Today, being World Food Day, millions of people and animals across Eastern Africa are facing a severe hunger crisis as an ongoing drought causes the driest conditions seen in decades and worsens widespread food shortages, with First Lady Rachel Ruto appealing to Kenyans to contribute the little they have to help affected communities. In the headlines, the 16th of October. Tonight, Ruto and Raila in new war of words.
Nataka niwaambie watulize boli. Mambo bado. Uchumi ilikuwa imesambaratika. Tuko na madeni kutoka hapa mpaka sijui wapi.
The former premier telling the president not to apportion blame to the former regime over the ills facing Kenyans. Also tonight, on World Food Day, we highlight the plight of Kenyans unable to put food on the table.
Kwa sababu gharama iko juu. Hata ukileta hakuna wakununua hakuna.
Plus, top politicians among Kenyans whose SIM cards were deactivated after the October 15th, 2022 registration deadline issued by telecommunication companies.
Nikakuta line yangu imefungwa. Kwa hivyo sasa mimi kwenye biashara yangu siwezi kufanya malipo kwa sababu gani? Line yangu imefunga.
Welcome to the program. To our top story tonight, President William Ruto has told off Azimio leader Raila Odinga over his criticism of the Kenya Kwanza government, saying that for the more than 30 days Ruto has been at the helm of the country's leadership, he has been undoing the mess allegedly created by the former President Uhuru Kenyatta-led regime, and in which he accuses Raila of being part of. The president was speaking in Kericho with a host of other Kenya Kwanza leaders in a Thanksgiving service. Wigger William with that report for us.
President William Ruto Sunday toured Kericho County for a Thanksgiving service in his first visit to the region since being elected into office. The president was accompanied by the second in command, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, and a number of Kenya Kwanza allied leaders. Ruto, while at his home turf, went full swing, taking a swipe at the ODM leader Raila Odinga over his recent criticism on the conduct of the Kenya Kwanza government. Ruto telling off Raila, saying that they are focused in undoing the mess allegedly created by Raila and Uhuru Kenyatta.
Nataka niwaambie watulize boli. Mambo bado. Uchumi ilikuwa imesambaratika. Tuko na madeni kutoka hapa mpaka sijui wapi. Kilimo ilikuwa imeharibika mpaka bei ya unga ikafika shilingi 200 kwenda mbele. Mambo ya usalama ilikuwa imezoroteka.
The president calling on Raila to give him time and space to work on bettering the economy. Raila had earlier stated that Kenyans are ready to move on from the August polls. However, Raila Sunday said that President Ruto should cease his lamentations about the previous administration.
Wale ambao tulishindana na wao watulize boli. Waliharibu nchi yetu, watupatie nafasi tuifanyie ukarabati na tuipange iweze kwenda mbele. Walikuwa na miaka 5 ambayo walitumia kuharibu mambo ya nchi yetu. Uchumi ikaharibika, tukawa na madeni.
Wakenya wote bado wako na majonzi kwa sababu uchaguzi imemalizika, lakini sherehe hakuna. Kenya wana huzuni.
Tell the people of Kenya what you are trying to do and what you are going to do for there to be change in the Republic of Kenya.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua called on Kenyans to be patient with the William Ruto administration as there is a lot to be done to bring the country's economy to a better state.
We cannot clean the mess, the economic mismanagement of 5 years in 30 days. what we are doing right now is cleaning their mess. And they cannot oversight us to clean their mess because they were part of the mess.
Leaders in the Kenya Kwanza government observed that the president must be given time to organize his government.
Raila Odinga akiongea mambo ya bei ya vyakula, bei ya mafuta, na anaongea ni kama yeye hakuwa kwa hiyo serikali ambayo imefanya hii bei iende juu.
Ile judging ya mapema ndio tunajaribu kuambia Wakenya wawe wapole, wawe patient. Tunajua gharama ya maisha iko juu. We do not want ile tunaita short term mitigation.
Hakuna vile mnaweza acha serikali bila hata shilingi moja. Mumekula kila kitu. Pesa mmepeleka Panama. Alafu mu expect serikali ikiingia hivi maneno ibadilike. It's a big shame.
Mwege William, TV 47.
Moving on, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula is on Monday morning expected to give a ruling on the legality of Musalia Mudavadi's prime cabinet secretary slot after the Azimio Coalition and civil society groups said it does not exist in law. Wetangula's ruling, expected before the vetting of President William Ruto's cabinet nominees begins, is expected to answer the question of whether it's legally proper for him to appear before the committee for vetting. Our senior political affairs reporter, Paula Kamau has that report.
Before Monday's cabinet nominees vetting kicks off in the morning, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, who is also the chair of the Committee on Appointments tasked with the vetting, will be making a ruling to seal the legal contention on Musalia Mudavadi's prime cabinet secretary slot created by President William Ruto through an executive order. The ruling by the Speaker comes after Thursday's inaugural sitting, where the Azimio Coalition questioned the legality of Mudavadi's slot, saying it's not recognized by the law and has left the committee in a dilemma on how to vet Mudavadi.
But I have a lot of questions, critical questions. I will tell them it's not going to be easy. The questions, and I will tell the people of Kenya, we are not a rubber stamp. The parliament is not a rubber stamp. Particularly this parliament is not a rubber stamp.
The matter, now a subject of public debate, has also attracted the civil society's attention, with the executive director of the Kenya National Civil Society Centre, Suba Churchill, in a statement saying, and I quote, "The Kenya National Civil Society Centre calls on the National Assembly Committee on Appointments not to legitimize attempts by the executive to establish the position of Chief Cabinet Secretary through unconstitutional, illegal and unprocedural maneuvers by proceeding to vet Honorable Musalia Mudavadi as planned for on October 17, 2022. Suba continues, while Article 152 of the Constitution provides that the cabinet consists of the president, the deputy president, the attorney general, and not fewer than 14 and not more than 22 cabinet secretaries. At no point is there a mention of chief cabinet secretary as a substantive member of the cabinet, as the nomination of Honorable Musalia Mudavadi seems to suggest. Mudavadi's spokesman, Kibisu Kabatesi, however, dismissed the claims, saying, and I quote, "The issue of unconstitutionality does not arise because the president has a prerogative to name and restructure the cabinet in a manner he deems fit." Governance commentator and advocate of the High Court, Dr. Alutalala Muhwana, also weighs in on the legal contention, saying, and I quote, "Pursuant to Articles 131 and 132 of the Constitution, the incoming president has executive authority to craft his new government. He did so via Executive Order No. 1 of 2022. Dr. Alutalala further says the executive order creating Musalia Mudavadi's office of Prime Cabinet Secretary is therefore hinged on this and analogous constitutional provisions. Any interpretation imputing legal impurities in its establishment is most probably originating from considerations outside accurate legal reasoning.
And I want to assure Kenyans this will be an open, transparent and very accountable process in the National Assembly, and it's open to the public.
Others to be vetted on Monday after Mudavadi are cabinet nominees Justin Muturi, Aden Duale, Dr. Alfred Mutua and Alice Wahome. The integrity question will form a crucial part of the vetting, with Azimio training their guns on a number of nominees whose integrity has raised questions, among them Aisha Jumwa, Mithika Linturi, and Professor Njuguna Ndungu. Apul Kamau, TV47.
Now, the Special Service Unit of the DCI was made up of killers instead of protectors. This is according to President William Ruto, who says the move by his government to disband the unit is part of its efforts to address extrajudicial killings in the country. Ruto, who spoke hours after the DCI released a statement announcing the disbandment of the unit, criticized the former government for allowing the unit to operate despite allegedly terrorizing Kenyans.
Speaking during a Thanksgiving prayer service at Kericho Green Stadium in Kericho County, the head of state affirmed the DCI's move to disband the Special Service Unit, saying the directive was aimed at addressing extrajudicial killings in the country.
Umevunja ile ilikuwa inaitwa special sijui nini ya police ambayo ilikuwa inaua wa Kenya kiholela. That is the history we want to forget. Let our competitors not remind us of the many things they did against this country.
According to Ruto, the squad is directly responsible for the unexplained deaths of Kenyans, citing the infamous River Yala killings as an example.
We have also a plan on how to secure this country so that we avoid the shame of Kenyans killed through extrajudicial killings and put in Yala River and other rivers. We are going to secure this country going into the future.
Ruto further criticized the previous government for allowing the unit to operate and terrorize the lives of Kenyan citizens.
Walikuwa na miaka mitano ambayo walitumia kuharibu mambo ya nchi yetu. Uchumi ikaharibika, tukawa na madeni, mambo ya usalama ikaharibika, polisi wakabadilika wakawa ni watu wa kuwaua wa Kenya badala ya kuwalinda.
The Special Crime Prevention Unit was created in 1999 due to the increased cases of complex crimes within the country. It was then rebranded to its current name in 2019 by the former DCI boss George Kinoti while in office. Zainab Mohammed, T47.
Thank you, Zainab, for that report. Now, President Ruto now says the government will operationalize the Hustlers Fund on December 1st to ensure the availability of credit to small businesses at single-digit rates. The fund, according to him, is aimed at spurring reforms in financial lending, particularly to low and middle-income Kenyans. Ruto also affirmed his promise to delist Kenyans from the CRB list due to defaulted loans. Mike Agwongo with those details.
Speaking in Kericho, where he was attending an interdenominational prayer and Thanksgiving service, the head of state says the fund will be available for all Kenyans, who will then repay with lowered interest fees.
Hustler Fund ninaipangia vizuri. Tarehe 1 Disemba. Tayari Hustler Fund tutaifanyia launch tarehe 1 Disemba. Na saa ile mimi ninapanga vile mutapata hiyo pesa na nyinyi mujipange vile mutapokea hiyo pesa. Vile ya kupokea hiyo pesa ni ujipange na hasoli yako.
Ruto said the Hustler Fund will help in lowering the cost of credit for small businesses, ensuring that everyone can borrow money at a reasonable rate and hence resolve the shortage of resources for managing small businesses in the country.
Ati unangojea pesa ya serikali ya bure? Hiyo hakuna. Hii ni pesa ya kufanya biashara. Na tunafanya biashara na urudishe pesa.
Ruto said he has put in place a specific department to handle cooperatives, small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, chamas and SACCOs.
Ujipange either kwa chama, ama kwa SACCO, ama kwa cooperative. Hiyo ni njia moja. Unaweza kujipanga pia kama mtu binafsi. Tunaelewana? Na utapata hazina, pesa ya hazina ya Hustler Fund. Lakini si pesa ya bure. Kama kuna mtu hapa anafikiri atapata pesa ya bure. Unasikia wewe?
President William Ruto made the pledge to create a Hustler Fund in his 2022 campaign manifesto.
Kwa sababu hii pesa sasa ya biashara tutagawa 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote.
And followed up the commitment in his inauguration speech on September 13. Ruto also affirmed his promise to delist Kenyans from the CRB list due to defaulted loans. This comes amid looming threats to close Shylock businesses, citing heavy interest rates.
Wale mashailok ambao walikuwa nasumbua nyinyi, wanalipisha sijui interest ya 1,000 per year. Sasa hiyo interest itakuwa chini ya 10% per year. Tunaelewana? Mutapata pesa, lakini kila mtu atalipa kwa mpango. Wameniahidi ya kwamba watu 500,000 in the next 14 days, watu 500,000 wataondolewa kwa blacklist kwa ile madeni walikuwa nayo, na utakuwa na nafasi sasa ya kujipanga. Ulipe mambo deni polepole bila ya kukatazwa kuendelea na biashara yako.
He also promised to sustain his engagement with lenders to ensure interest rates are reasonable. Mike Kagwongo, TV 47.
Now, top politicians are among Kenyans whose SIM cards have been deactivated following the October 15th, 2022 deadline issued by telecommunication companies. Now, Safaricom, Airtel Kenya and Telkom had set yesterday as a deadline for SIM card registration. Collins Lusweti with more on that.
Thousands of Kenyans' cell phone lines have been suspended after the October 15th, 2022 SIM registration deadline elapsed. Leading telecommunications company Safaricom sent messages to its affected clients asking them to visit its mobile shops to have the blocked lines reactivated. Those affected say they were unable to transact on M-Pesa, access data bundles or send messages.
Mwenyewe nimeamka asubuhi nikakuta line yangu imefungwa. Kwa hivyo sasa mimi kwenye biashara yangu siwezi kufanya malipo kwa sababu gani? Line yangu imefunga.
Naweza kuathirika sana kwa sababu mimi biashara zangu mingi ni za simu. Na ikiwa kufungwa kwa line zingine zimefungwa kwa sababu Wakenya wengi sahii wanaathirika. Sababu hii mambo ya communication, kupata makazi wengi, kupata ajira zao ni simu. Kuna kama sahii kama pesa transaction, siku hizi watu wengi wanatumia pesa ya simu.
Top politicians are among Kenyans whose SIM cards have been deactivated. On Sunday morning, Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei complained on social media that his Safaricom line had been switched off. Lawyer Abed Nasir Abdullahi, Makueni Governor Mtula Kilonzo Jr. and former Wajir Women Representative Fatma Gedi among those who declared that they were victims of the closure. Those affected now want the process made easy.
Naomba tafadhali kama Safaricom waweze kurahisisha hii mambo ya self registration kama samani, ngarau kama watai-upgrade iweze kuwa mpaka yule mtu wa simu ndogo, mtu wa katururu yani, aweze kuwa na access za kufanya self registration. Ukiweka eti lazima mtu afike kwa duka, itakuwa kuna wengine wako mbali, mtu hana uwezo wa kufika kwa duka, labda ameitiwa kazi mahali, line anahitaji maybe replace ama afanye nini. Sasa ikikuwa tena ni afike kwa duka, inakuwa ni kazi ngumu kwake.
According to the Communication Authority, the move will allow the government to weed out fraudsters and criminals using unregistered cell phones to cause harm. Affected subscribers still have a chance to re-register their lines. However, the process will be longer compared to what it would have taken to re-register. Collins Lusweti, TV 47.
Now, a sigh of relief accompanied by tears of joy was witnessed for the better part of Saturday at the Kithioko Mercy Servants of the Poor home in Masinga Sub-County, Machakos, after a man who went missing more than 7 years ago was reunited with his family before he was brought to the home. Mwamali Mudhiani had been hospitalized at Kenyatta National Hospital with head injuries which in a way impaired his memory. The story was produced by our very own Andrew Juma.
Tears of joy and happiness rent the air here in Masinga Sub-County, Machakos County, after the impromptu return of a prodigal son who disappeared 7 years ago.
Tulikuwa tunamtafuta, tukisikia kuna mtu alikufa kimoja linajulikani, madhi anaenda kuangalia akiwa na babangu.
Tulikuwa tunapoteza mtoto wetu, lakini kwa nguvu za Mwenyezi Mungu tumeshampata na tukahatunga. Asante wale walikuwa wakikaa naye akimsaidia kama mtoto wao. Nimekuta mtoto wangu ni mzuri.
Mwamali Muthiani was reported missing in 2015, only for news to surface that he had been hospitalized at the Kenyatta National Hospital with head injuries which had in one way impaired his memory. According to his sister Mary Musembi, the family members couldn't believe that their kin had been found, and it was only after arriving at the home yesterday that they believed the bad news. Ann Twili, the sister to Muthiani, couldn't hold her tears after they had searched for their brother everywhere, including in the morgues. But their efforts bore no fruits until a call which came recently from the Kithioko Home, a mercy of servants of the poor.
We have been with him since 3 years ago. And then I've been monitoring how sometimes I ask him about the family, his name, because when he came here, he could not remember anything. We were asking him, we just gave him just a funny name of Musani. And then from there, early this year, he started mentioning his, the nearest town, Kisiki.
Kadie Karjoang, who is the Director of Social Services at the KNH, urged family members who were unable to trace their loved ones to liaise with the hospital, as there are many other people whose family members cannot be traced.
One thing I also appeal to the public is that we have several patients, which almost 12 of them we have placed them in this home. We do encourage us also to be getting in touch with us, because we have managed to place several of them. We might link them to where their next of kin could be.
At the end of the day. Now, First Lady Rachel Ruto is appealing to Kenyans to contribute the little they have to help alleviate the suffering of communities that are affected by drought. The government, through the National Drought Management Authority and the European Union, has stepped up drought mitigation measures to cater for the livestock in the drought-hit areas through provision of animal pellets.
The ravaging drought in the country continues to endanger human life. Hundreds of thousands of Kenyans in more than 20 counties have a problem accessing food and water. And now, First Lady Rachel Ruto is appealing to Kenyans to step in and help communities affected by drought.
Na jambo ambalo tunafanya hii siku ya Wednesday kanisa, hii lunch ama breakfast ama dinner ambayo ungekula, tunasema kwamba hiyo shilingi 100 ama hiyo shilingi 200 tuweze kusaidia mtu mwingine ambaye hana chakula. Tumeona janga la njaa, tuko na a drought, tuko na famine. Sijui mliona jana katika news kwamba kule Turkana hata watoto sasa hawaendi shule kwa ajili feeding programs. Our governor inasaidia watoto wengine ambao hawangeenda shule kuweza kwenda shule, waweze kwenda kusoma. Na mimi ningependa kuomba kwamba tuweze kushirikiana hata kwa hilo jambo la kutoa hiyo shilingi 100 ama hiyo shilingi 200 kuweka katika kiti fulani ili tuweze kuitumia kama pesa ya kusaidia feeding program.
In Garissa County, the government, through the National Drought Management Authority and the European Union, stepped up drought mitigation measures to cater for the livestock in the drought-hit areas through provision of animal pellets.
Tuko na watu 1332 ambao wameathirika na ukame. Na hii inaweza kuongezeka mpaka hadi 1400 kama hali ya anga itaendelea kuwa vile tunavyoshuhudia wakati huu. Na kwa hivyo mvua isiponyesha wakati huu mpaka mwezi wa 11 inamaanisha kwamba hali haitakuwa mzuri, na kwa hivyo tumeweka mipango maalum kuhakikisha kwamba hakuna mtu ambaye atakufa kwa mnajili ya njaa.
The government has upscaled
the intervention, and today what we are doing is livestock interventions. We are providing 5,600 livestock feeds, or common known as the pellets, to 15,000 livestock of the various species. This food is meant for the weak animals that have been left behind after the main animals have migrated to other areas looking for pasture. As a government, last week, food relief was delivered to all the counties, including Garissa County, and this is an exercise which is being undertaken all over the country. The government also has scaled up in terms of other interventions, the health sector, health and nutrition, water tracking. We are undertaking water tracking in 4 sub-counties which have been severely affected by drought.
Serikali vile vile imeweka mpango ya kununua mifuko ile haina nguvu sana, na kwa hivyo katika ile mpango ambaye ilikwisha hivi majuzi, serikali kuu kupitia kwa Kenya Meat Commission na Red Cross waliweza kununua kiasi ya ng'ombe 861. Kwa kila moja ilikuwa ni kwa bei ya shilingi 15,000, na kwa hivyo kiasi cha pesa milioni 12,915 ilienda kwa wakulima.
In Kirinyaga County, the Anglican Church organized prayers for the rains as farmers prepare to plant for the short rains. The farmers were sensitized on maize seeds for different ecological zones in the wake of poor rains brought by climate change.
Watu wa mbegu wamekuja wanaelimisha watu wote, na wao watu watakuwa na masomo mzuri, na sasa wakati mvua inaenda kunyesha, exactly watu watakuwa set in mind zile begu watapanda na variety ni gani.
Tukipanda hizi begu tofauti tofauti inatupea results, sababu tunaweza minimize on losses zenye tunapata, ndio tuweze kucapture mvua vizuri.
Kuna wengine wanaweza panda hii 3253, hiyo ni ya 3 months. So tunataka wakulima wapande ile mahindi inakomaa haraka na ni drought tolerance, juu hiyo inatumia ile mvua kidogo.
Kama sasa hivi tuko na shinda kwa sababu unga iko bei kali na economy iko kali, watu wanalala njaa hata hapa kwetu Kutus, na tunaona ya kwamba tukipanda vizuri, tuchunge mimea yetu vizuri, tuchunge mifugo yetu vizuri na tukae vizuri, hata sisi tutafurahia.
Meanwhile, leaders in Elgeyo Marakwet believe the construction of Kimorer and Aror dams will help address issue of food insecurity in the area. Sharon Baranga, TV 47.
This is TV 47 Weekend with me, Karen Karimi. We take a short break. We'll be right back with more stories.
TV 47, the home of untold stories. Are you looking at securing your assets today? Look no further. Texas Alarms have end-to-end high-tech alarms and security solutions that are tailor-made for our clients' needs. We pride ourselves on discretion, honesty, and integrity. Our key services include guarding services, guarding dog services, CCTV, manual alarms, fire alarms, electric fencing, cargo escorts, detection systems, and building management services. We are experts in supplying backup power systems, access control, solar deep cycle batteries, guard tower systems, visitor management systems, not forgetting vehicle tracking unit and GSM radio. Don't leave your future in the hands of challengers. For more inquiries, visit our offices in Mombasa Nyali Road, next to Cinemax, or in Nairobi, Mombasa Road Plaza 2000, or call us on 0722 866 339 or 0733 411 500. Texas Alarms Limited, your link with security.
Chachisha mechi. Chachisha Mechi. Catch all the 64 games live from Qatar on GOtv Super. Get your GOtv decoder for only 1,999 Kenya shillings. GOtv. Love it.
Discover a world full of opportunities, a place to build your skill and see the world in a different perspective. Sensei Institute of Technology is the home to the best practical courses, giving you hands-on experience to handle the world. We offer courses such as plant operator, plant mechanics, driving and trailer driving, CCTV and alarm installation, solar installation, electrical installation, motor vehicle mechanics and electronics, building construction technology, welding fabrication, roads and dam construction, hospitality courses, and many more. For you to join us, ensure you have your national ID card and be ready to enjoy the ride.
Remember, my skills, my future at Sensei.
Sensei College, my skills, my future.
Usiyakubalie maumivu ya misuli kukatiza ratiba yako. Kaluma Pain Balm ni dawa ya kusugua iliyotengenezwa kutoka kwa miche maalum ili kutuliza maumivu ya misuli. Kaluma Pain Balm. Maumivu ya kizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
You're watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back to the program. Now, today being World Food Day, some Kenyans continue to experience hardships due to the lack of food that many say has resulted from the rising cost of living and prolonged drought. They're now asking the government to intervene in the situation so that they can receive sufficient food like other Kenyans. The story was produced by Chaemba Emmanuel.
They say if you do not know how much a person eats, do not give them small portions of food. But the question is, do people in the country eat? And if they do, what do they eat and at what price? Today, during the World Food Day with theme Don't Leave Anyone Behind, we highlight the future of Kenyans, especially when it comes to food. Belding Oteno explains how she struggles to feed her sons, sometimes on one meal a day.
I'm a mother of 5, a single mother. So kitu yenye napata ni ya kukula. Pengine unapata asubuhi, kama mimi watoto wangu wanaenda asubuhi shule, so wanakunywa breakfast kwa nyumba, lunch inapita hivyo, usiku ndio saa tujue tutapata hiyo ya kukula.
She tries and works hard every now and then to make sure the family is well kept, remembering that the hungry one has no choice, and it is what she thinks after leaving the room every time she wakes up.
So what I do normally ni ile pesa yenye nimepata kidogo na kula 10 bob naeka 10 bob. Kama imeshindikana tena nashona pia. So nikikosa ya rangi nitapata ya kushona.
Her condition does not differ from that of Nimrod, a teenage parent of one, who depends wholly on shoe dyeing to get a day's meal.
Mimi niko na mtoto mmoja, nang'ang'ana hapa napiga rangi. Saa ile kitu kidogo napata hiyo ndio nagharamikia familia yangu. Na najisukuma tu na maisha. Leo unaweza pata, kesho ukose. Hiyo pia tunashukuru Mungu.
The high cost of living affects not only the consumers, but even those who deal in food business. Their cry is not different, and they say the cost of food has risen and complicated their usual lives.
Naitwa Mama Natasha, ama Mama Jill, ama Mama Natalia. Mimi nauza omena na samaki. Tunashindwa kuelewa ni kwa nini, lakini bei tunaona imeshoot, iko juu sana as compared to wakati wa hapo nyuma.
Their usual customers have chosen to look for alternatives and mostly look for affordable meals, leaving the sellers with huge losses.
Mimi kwa majina naitwa Mama Brenda. Hiyo ndio lebo yangu ya omena. Lakini kama hapa, mimi nimesimamia hapa samaki na omena. Mimi ndo nimesimamia hapa na nimeuza hiyo omena kama miaka 15. Lakini mwanzo wa kuuza omena haikuwa venye iko sasa. Nilianza na gunia 5,000. Nimepanda imekuja 6,000. 8. Sasa imefika gunia 15,000.
Ni affect kabisa. Kwa maana hiyo bei tulikuwa tunauza hapo nyuma na bei yenye tuko nayo saa hizi difference ni kubwa. Sasa unapata customer kama amekuja, alikuwa amezoea kuchukua maybe hii mkebe ya 2 kg na 350. Saa hizi sasa unamwambia 450. Sasa mnaanza kuvutana, maybe achukue, wengi wanaenda.
Hawako, wateja walienda. Unajua saa hizi kazi hakuna. Sasa wale ambao tulikuwa tunategemea kununua ni wale wa kampuni, lakini sasa wengi walienda nyumbani.
The question is, what is the cause of the rise in prices and scarceness of food that some of them depended on for a living for more than a decade?
Wale wavuvi walikuwa tusukumia omena, sasa hiyo wameshikwa Uganda. Hawawezi kukuletea omena, wameshikwa wavuvi kama 40. Sasa hizi tunaona omena imepanda sana. Mkenya hawezi vua omena Uganda. Na sasa uchumi wetu umedhoofika. Na tunasema saa hizi chakula iko juu sana. Uchumi iko juu, hata mtu anaona hawezi kula kwa siku mara 2.
Saa hii unaweza upate omena uuze gunia moja, huwezi uza utoe pesa yako kwa sababu gharama iko juu. Hata ukileta hakuna wakununua hakuna. Watu wanalia unga iko juu. Sasa watakula na nini? Hawezi nunua omena kwa sababu unga iko juu.
These few traders represent the cry of millions of Kenyans suffering and concerned about the rise of cost of living as well as food prices.
Walisema watapunguza chakula kwa mama wa mboga aliye chini, na mama wa mboga ni mimi mmoja. Sasa si ni kupunguza chakula, gharama ishuke chini. Ndio tunaomba sasa gharama iteremke chini, isiwe ati gharama iko juu, mama wa chakula anaumia.
Climate change is also one of the main cause of famine in the country, the extent of it depriving many of meals. In Marsabit and Baringo counties, for example, residents and their livestock are suffering, many of them living in fear and afraid of an uncertain future.
Tunaona shida kubwa kwa njaa. Haijawahi tangu sisi tusaliwe wasema wetu walikutoi. Hatujawahi kuona kiangazi kama hii. Labda ni ile 1959 mpaka 60 wakati tulipata ile unga ambayo ililetwa na Amerika.
Watu wamekufa kabisa. Ara watoto ya shule iko moja hajaenda shuleni kwa sababu ya njaa. Unaona watoto wako asubuhi anaamka ameshinda kutembea kwa sababu ya njaa. Watoto wako nyumbani kwa sababu ya njaa. Hakuna mtu anakubali mtoto wake anaenda na njaa.
Nilikuwa ng'ombe 58 ng'ombe yangu na leo sina moja.
But even as food gets scarce, there is another problem that many face as the drought persists, the lack of water.
Kwanza kwa sababu ya njaa, kiu ya maji. Unaona hata chakula, hata maji yenyewe hawana. Shule hakuna maji, hakuna chakula. Nyumbani huko hakuna chakula, hakuna maji, hakuna lishe bora, hakuna chakula, hakuna maji. So actually hawa wanakuwa affected.
The drought situation in the country has forced the government to lift a ban on the production of genetically modified organisms and foods, GMOs, banned in the country in 2012.
First of all, there are specific GMOs that are improved for drought tolerance. So it's one, there are some, maize varieties that are improved to be drought tolerant, but also incorporated with the traits of insect resistance.
The lift on the ban has sparked mixed feelings for Kenyans, leaders and health professionals.
This decision was quickly rushed, and we did not see the consultation with Mama Mboga. We did not see the consultation with the mtu wa kuuza kiosk. We have not seen the consultation with the border people. If any member of these groups has been consulted, then it's good that we are informed. We did a survey and we asked consumers if they are willing. Majority of Kenyan consumers are not willing to eat GMOs. Majority, and by majority I mean more than 50.4%. This is a serious majority. So in whose interest is this decision made?
Mambo ya GMO
mpaka sisi kama Wakenya tuseme tumekataa.
Some experts, however, say that GMO foods are safe for human consumption, saying that Kenyans should desist from listening to opinion not backed by research.
GMOs do not cause cancer. And I don't think there is any one known cause of cancer. But that said, there are serious, there are people with fears and fear, and genuine concern about health. And, scientists do not take this lightly. They deliberately test the GM crops that are developed. There are tests that are done to ascertain.
There is a need to assist Kenyans, and especially those who live in dry areas, so that they can live dignified lives as the condition continues to worsen.
Sio ng'ombe ndio sisi nalilia sana. Tunalia serikali iangalie watu, sababu inabaki siku chache ama hiyo mwezi mwingine ijayo utakuta watu wameanza kufeli, especially kama watoto kama hawa wadogo wao hawana namna nyingine isipokuwa wanategemea hii mpito inaitwa. Naomba sasa samana yake imeisha.
Sababu shida ya kiangazi, ng'ombe imekufa, mbuzi imekufa yote. Hata mtoto amelala bila chakula.
Watu wanatembea 22 kilometers kwenda kutafuta ile matibabu, kwa sababu the only dispensary ambayo tuko nao hapo ni na Marine, and 22 kilometers from here. So hata hawa wanaathirika sana.
Moving on, the Kenya Union of Special Needs Education Teachers has raised concern of the implementation of the CBC program, alleging that the teachers are not adequately trained. Now, the union's deputy chairman, Elijah Sweater, observed that if teachers are not properly equipped to identify the potential in the young learners, then the pupils will not benefit from the new curriculum. Elijah added that the design of CBC was also not satisfactory, as there was a gap between the pre-primary learners and grade 1 learners, since the early child development education teachers were not well trained. The union leaders say for the curriculum to be effective, there must be proper tools specifically for the special needs children, so that they too discover their talents early enough. President William Ruto appointed a presidential working committee on education reforms to evaluate and review CBC and recommend a way forward in implement the CBC.
Adequate training of the teachers who are supposed to be the key implementers of CBC. The teachers need to be trained in terms of how they can identify those particular learners, so that the talents of the learners can be tailored towards what they are good at. So the identification process is such a challenge, because CBC is all about enhancing or nurturing the learner's potential. If they are not identified adequately, then the teachers will end up not nurturing the learner's potential.
Special education requires funding because it requires special training for the teachers, special equipment for that will be used by those children who have different educational needs, adaptive needs, so that they can be able to accommodate their movement, their visual acuity, and other areas. We also need special equipment for assessment in the ears, like the audiometer, so that after establishing the learner's functions, he can be able now to be properly placed in a class, and that goes with the proper assistance from the teachers.
Now, a 53-year-old man has been found murdered in his house by unknown people in Edeja village, Busia County. According to members of the community led by Mary Kireti, Gilbert Okumu, who lives alone, was found dead while naked with injuries. It is alleged that the deceased had sold a piece of land for 80,000 shillings the previous day, and it is suspected that the criminals murdered him before fleeing with the money. The incident has been confirmed by the Deputy Chief of Sibinga, Emma Opondo. The residents now call upon the government to beef up security in the area.
Nilikuwa kwa boma yangu karibu mwendo wa saa 12:30. Kama nimeamka nikasikia geti inafungwa. Ikatubidi tukasukuma mlango. Kusukuma tukaona mwili ya Gili iko sakafuni kama amelala. Kaambia amelala ni mzima ama ameonekana kama mtu amekufa. Ananiambia tumejaribu kumuita lakini kama mtu amefanya nini? Amekufa.
Ni jamaa ambaye amekuwa akijitegemea, hana mtoto, hana bibi, lakini amekuwa akijitegemea. Sasa naambiwa tuna shamba iliuzwa hapa shilingi 80,000. Sasa tujui kama ni hiyo ni pesa walikuja kuiba ama nini, lakini angalau hangefanya hatungefika hapo. The rate of crime now area hii imekuwa juu sana. And tungeomba nao DCIO waichukulie wafate so that the culprits are brought to book.
Kuku zimeibiwa, kuku zilirudishwa. Ng'ombe zimeibiwa za jirani yangu zimeenda. Manguruwe zimeibiwa zimeenda. Na sabuchifu ameshindwa vile atakabili hawa watu. Sasa tunaomba serikali tusaidie.
Now, a family in Marani sub-county of Kisii County cannot bury their kin owing to inability to settle a huge hospital bill of over 3.4 million shillings. Now, the family members from Bobombea village are required to offset a medical bill of 3.4 million shillings at Kenyatta University Research Teaching and Referral Hospital for their son's body to be released. Family members say they live in abject poverty and they are not in a position to raise the money demanded by the hospital as efforts to fundraise have been unsuccessful. The family is petitioning the government to assist them pay the bill for 44-year-old Cornelius Ondieki to avoid its further accumulation. Ondieki died in August this year.
Majirani wakaangalia nyumba ichafunguliwa. Sasa ndio majirani wakaitana wakafungua nyumba, wakapomoa dirisha, mtoto akaingizwa, akafungua chavi. Ndugu yangu alikuwa amekonjeka. Ndugu yangu tangu hakukuwa anakunywa pombe hapa. Sasa alikuwa amekonjeka. Na madaktari sasa wakati alipelekwa Kenyatta University Referral Hospital, madaktari wakapima yeye, wakasema ni stroke. Stroke ndiye ilipika ndugu yangu. Akakaa huko akarasu huko hospitali karibu tangu mwezi wa 3 tarehe 3 mwezi wa 4. Akakaa huko mpaka akakuja kukufa mwezi wa 8 tarehe 6.
Taka serikali mtoe usaidizi. Kama mmeona hii kambi hakuna kitu chochote vile wanaongea. Watoto wenyewe wako hapa, watoto wengine wanagwaja sure. Tangu hii kijana Yesu alikufa, tuko na hoi. Sasa hatuna chochote cha kufanya. Kwa hivyo tunagharamia serikali tafadhali mtusaidie.
Mtoto wetu ndiye anapenda sana kutusaidia. Analeta kila kitu, anapea mama yangu. Sisi hakuna kitu chochote. Mnaona bila tunaishi, masamba hakuna. Mama yangu hakuna hata kitu hata kidogo. Mimi nasema daktari, serikali tusaidie. Charity tusaidie. Jabeti, Simbarati tusaidie gaki, saidia. Tusaidie leta ndugu yetu kutoka Nairobi.
Now, cotton farmers in Yatta have a reason to smile after receiving a promise of free seeds from Thika Cotton Mills ahead of the expected November short rains. Now, speaking when she hosted Yatta MP Robert Basil at the Thika textile industry, CEO Tejal Dodia noted that she will collaborate with the government to boost cotton farming in the region in a bid to grow the economy, urging Kenyans to embrace Kenyan products in the Buy Kenya, Build Kenya initiative to help revive the local textile industry. The Yatta legislator Robert Basil has announced plans to extend the project to spread all over the 5 wards in Yatta constituency before moving to other areas of Machakos.
To work. In fact, Thika Cloth Mills was on crossroads. It was going to even think about making these places into go-downs. But thank goodness the government went for a Buy Kenya, Build Kenya agenda. And today we are very alive. We are making lots of materials for the corporate world. And we want to continue to make this. And as we do grow our business, we're also going down to the farmers and telling them to grow cotton again.
And it's high time for the government of Kenya to bring tax holidays and other strategies to encourage local industries to flourish, particularly when you look at the level of unemployment, which is currently above the roof. At least so many young people are getting employment from BTC and other local industries. We are in the process of bringing hydro technology and propel it to high scale or to large scale levels, whereby farmers will be able to benefit from free water that is not powered by solar, electricity, diesel or petrol power, but depends on volume and pressure, which is basically a very good example of green energy. So through hydro technology, Yatta farmers will no longer depend on rain-fed agriculture.
Now, Nandi residents could not hide their happiness as one of their own son, Felix Kosgei, was appointed Chief of Staff at State House. The residents have thanked President William Ruto for considering them in his government. Now, according to them, during the Cabinet Secretary appointments by President Ruto, they were left out, but following Kosgei's appointment, they feel treasured as a community. Led by Nandi Hills MP Bernard Kitur, they have thanked President Ruto, citing Kosgei has a first-hand experience in matters leadership.
Nandi County gets the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service. We are very grateful to him, and we know that with the kind of professionalism that Honorable Felix Kosgei has, we know he is going to serve this republic with a lot of diligence.
Mheshimiwa Felix Kosgei alikuwa commissioner katika Judicial Service Commission na alifanya kazi mzuri sana as a commissioner. So we want to say a special thank you to the President of the Republic of Kenya. As the people of Nandi Hills, we truly appreciate.
Sisi kama Nandi, ilikuwa wakati wa kwanza katika historia kwamba hatukuwa tumepata mmoja ambaye anatoka hapa. Since independence, Nandi has never missed to have a cabinet member. Lakini tukakumbuka pia kwamba rais wetu ambaye tunajua anapenda Nandi sana, alikuwa amesema kwamba kabla hamjauliza nitakuwa nimefanya nini, nimewafikishia, si ndio? Sasa in our patience, William Samoei Ruto, our president, has done Nandi proud.
Time to get sporty now, and the University of Nairobi Dynamites earlier today edged Strathmore Swords with a 45-41 victory in a Vesti derby of the Kenyan Women's Basketball Federation League at the Nyayo Stadium Indoor Arena. Now, Dynamites entered the match hungry to score and looking to bag all the points as they won the first, third and fourth quarters respectively, while Strathmore Swords won the second quarter. Sharon scored a game-high 12 points for UN Dynamites in the victory, while Sharon Ogaji and Joy Mopalia tallied 17 points for Strathmore Swords in the losing effort. Other matches played in the league saw the United States International University, that's USIU, defeat KCA University 67-50. Eagle Wings fell to a 35-36 defeat at the hands of Kenyatta University Oryx, while Kisii thrashed FEBA 81-76.
The options they have, but it was a good game, and normally when I play Strathmore, it's normally not just a game, especially Strathmore, Kenyatta University. But I'm happy with my girls. They played well and I take the win and then I wait for the next game. Second quarter and third quarter, we played their game. We didn't play our game. I told them, let's play our game. And because we lost to Strathmore in the Kusa finals, the University Nationals, by 1 point in the semis. They had that, so I told them, we don't need to prove a point. Let's play and take each game as it comes. Although I'm not totally fit, my players are unfit because this is the second week we trained because they opened last week. So our players are unfit, but I'm happy with the win, and we take each game as it comes.
Rangers earlier today secured a narrow 34-33 win against Boomerang in the Men's Kenya Handball Federation League at the Nyayo Stadium Gymnasium. Now, Rangers started the match on a slow foot and trailed their opponents with 2 points at half-time before rallying from behind to secure the much-needed victory as Frank Kavita scored 8 goals for his side in the victory. Speaking after the match, Rangers head coach Edwin Adamba lauded his players for putting in the hard work to emerge victorious despite lacking adequate preparation for the match, adding that they instead to rectify their mistakes ahead of their next fixture. The result saw Rangers climb up to the 8th position on the league standings with 10 points, while Boomerang dropped to the 16th position on the log with only 2 points.
For the men category, it really feels great. It's a morale booster, especially considering the fact that most of our players joined us just yesterday. We've not been consistent in training. So getting that win and coming from behind, winning it in the last 5 minutes shows the character of our players, shows the maturity of our players. Rangers is not a Nairobi team. We come from up country, and to maintain being in the league for more than 7 years now, running is not an easy thing. It takes a lot of sacrifice from both the players, the coaches, the team managers,